Hey guys, welcome back to Just Being a Mom podcast. I want to wish everyone a happy Good Friday and a happy Easter weekend. I hope you guys are going to do something fun this weekend and spend some extra time with your families. I'm actually taking Elijah to a Easter egg hunt in the park, so I'm really excited about that, and church, of course, and I made him a really cute Easter egg basket. I didn't make it, but I put all the stuff inside, but it's super cute. I'm going to post a picture of it on social media so you guys can see. But I hope you guys just have an awesome weekend and spending time with your families and be safe, of course. So this episode is about unconventional parenting, and it's something I'm super passionate about. And I chose this topic because I feel like I get a lot of side eye from people when they see some of my unconventional parenting methods. So I just want to use this to educate people on some of the methods that I use, and hopefully they get a better understanding. And I want, some of my listeners to be able to implement this if they want into some of their parenting as well, if they want. Or if you just think I'm crazy, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Or if you're already doing unconventional parenting, let me know some of your unconventional ways, and I'd love to hear them. And so basically unconventional parenting is just the opposite of conventional parenting. It's just that new age parent versus, that old school parent, the opposite of how you and I were raised. And I love parenting this way. I'm not necessarily like your totally off the grid, free range parent, but I do have a good mix of the old school versus the new school, and I implement what works best for my family. So I hope you guys can just find that balance for yourself as well, and instead of just going completely off the grid or just completely conventional, just integrate as much or as less as you feel, one, what works best for your child, and two, what works best for your family. So, and I wanted to share with you guys the top three things that I do that I feel are unconventional. So number one is we like to limit saying no to Elijah. So it's not that we don't ever say no to him, because we're not perfect, but and it's, you have to say no sometimes. But we just try to limit how often we say it, because as a toddler, he already has so many limits on him, and it's only so many things he could do, so many things he could choose. So we don't want to limit his environment. We want to make it a fun and safe place where he can explore freely. This is his home too. And, outside, that's where he can roam as well. So we'd like for it to be a free-flowing space for him. So we let him go into the cabinets, into the fridge, and take things out, take whatever he wants out. We let him, and all of the things that we let him take out, it's safe for him to be with. We don't let him play with chemicals and expensive electronics, because who wants to buy a new laptop? Not I. So we don't let him play with stuff like that. But as far as Tupperware, pots and pans, food out of the fridge, plates out of the dishwasher, just stuff like that, normal parents would be like, oh, let me put a gate in front of the kitchen so he just doesn't come in. I just feel like that's a lot of learning opportunities that are missed by not letting them into the kitchen, or not letting him into certain situations like the closet. You don't want to miss out on those opportunities, because there's a lot of learning there. So number two would be allowing, and they all kind of flow. So number two is allowing them to explore things that aren't necessarily safe. So I do let him explore things like scissors, glass, knives even. Call me crazy. However, I do them while he is fully supervised. A lot of times he is sitting right on my lap, and we are holding the scissors together. I'm making sure that he is safe. And I feel like if a child learns how to use something safely, then it's no longer a danger to the child. So I want to make that, just very common to him. Like, hey, if I teach him how to use a knife, like you and me, we know how to use a knife. So it's not like a danger for us. Once he knows how to use a knife, like it won't be a danger to him either. But he has to know what a knife is. He has to have held a knife before for him to learn how to use it. And I feel like too, start cooking early with your kids, and so they can see you. Let them get some plastic cutlery so that they can use. Plastic knives cut a lot of things. You can cut carrots, zucchini, so get them in the kitchen, start their little cooking, and let them like cut up things. And even if it's not perfect, you can still use it. Like you can still cook it. So I think that's super important. And a funny story, we were at a restaurant with our family, and I let Elijah just like hold all of the silverware, and he would gnaw on it and put it in his mouth, and he grabbed a knife and I let him chew on it. Obviously not the sharp part, but the handle, and I was holding the sharp part. I think it was just a butter knife. It wasn't like it wasn't like a serious like steak knife. But my sister-in-law just yells across the table like, "Whoa, that baby's holding a knife!" And we're just like, "It's okay, guys. Like it's okay." I was actually holding the knife. He was just chewing the other end. But that's like one thing that I want him to be comfortable around, things that, aren't necessarily to an average person like safe for a child. But if he knows how to use it, then it's safe for him. So, and then my third point would be I let him put everything in his mouth. And this is why my husband hates me because I let him, one time I tried to argue with him, like, he's like, "Shelby, stop letting him put everything in his mouth." And I was just like, well, first of all, I don't let him put everything in his mouth. And then I'm like, I guess I do let him put everything in his mouth, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. One, I don't let him put toxic things in his mouth because they're not safe. And two, it's good. It's putting things in their mouth is how children learn. And that's how, think about it. The most intimate place where you can feel things is your mouth. Like you kiss people from the mouth. That's the most intimate thing you can do. And I feel like they want the best way that they could know their environment is by putting their mouth on it. So if you name it, Elijah has probably had it in his mouth, like dirt, sand, wood chips, plastic, styrofoam, paper, like everything he has had in his mouth. And he's good. Like he's not like sick, knock on wood. He's doing great. And it's so funny because like I'll be around other parents and they'll have something in his mouth, and they'll be like, "Oh, Shelby, Elijah has this in his mouth," and I kind of have to act like overreact, like I care so much, and I don't. I'm like, "Oh no, Elijah, get out of your mouth." But I'm not the type of parent that'll like see him and just like rush over. I'm just like, "Hey, what is that? Can I see?" Or, or if it's, I also don't like it. I won't let something like can like crumble up, like just sit in his mouth, like chalk, like I'll kind of just dig that out. Or like if he chews on a crayon and like little pieces I'll just dig it out. Once again, because I supervise him. I don't just leave him alone with these random things. He is very well supervised. So I do have to kind of act like, I'm overdoing it when I'm around other parents. But another point, it also helps them with their eating, because I feel like he's more likely to eat different textures because he's already had those different kinds of textures in his mouth at one point. So he wouldn't be like put off because something's super crunchy because he's had he's eaten sand before. So, yeah, once again, that's just how they learn. And don't let them put anything non-toxic in their mouth, because then that's like a hospital visit. So, and I plan to keep this. So those are just my top 3 things. And I plan to keep these things going in the future, and some things that I want to implement into his life as he gets older is that aren't necessarily conventional. We definitely want to do homeschool for our son, and I'm actually, homeschool is like a big topic, so I'm going to do a whole nother episode on homeschooling, so I can tell you more about why we made that choice. But we just feel like it's just best for our family and the lifestyle that we want to live and show our son. So, the second one would be teaching them about sex early on. And I actually had a big fight with my mom about this. Not about like me talking about it, but just about like just the sex talk. And I was kind of glad for the argument, because it made me realize that sex just shouldn't be something, that we just have a talk about, like the talk about, and then we never talk about it again. It's something that definitely needs to be like taught and not just talked about. And you have to take it every step, like with every age, as early as like 7. I want to say 6, but I don't want to freak you guys out. But you just have to talk to them on their level, and it just have to start teaching them about like what's going on in their body, how's your body reacting to certain things, and then what morals and values you want to teach them about sex. And just, it goes on and on and on until they're a teenager and until they're actually having sex. So, and you would have been teaching them for so long, which you would have instilled in them some great core values, and they'll have the knowledge from you and not from their friends, which is where I got a lot of information, and I'm sure you guys did too. But yeah, so that's another unconventional thing. And I want to teach Elijah how to drive early on. Like, so I want to say when he gets tall enough, but I don't want to teach him at like 10. I'm sure he's going to be my height when he's like 10. I'm more like 12 or 13. I want to start like letting him back out of the driveway and like drive around the neighborhood. I'm not going to let him drive, on main streets, because, I don't want to go to jail. But I do want to teach him like core values of how to buy a car, how to take care of a car, how to make sure your credit's good so you can buy a car, and just like how to change a tire, just like all of these things that go into driving, and then actually driving around and decision making. I feel like if he has 3 extra years of practice than the one that you need to get a driver's license, I think he'll be a lot well off when he is actually on the road and having to drive around with crazy California people. He would have already had 2 extra years or even 3 extra years of experience compared to the one that is mandatory. So that's it. Now you guys think differently of me. You think I'm crazy or you think I'm awesome for what I'm doing and what I'm going to do. But just let me know in the comments, because I want to learn too. I don't just want this to be, I'm just telling you guys stuff, and I want to learn from you guys too, and I want to hear your opinions, because I feel like it only helps us grow as moms and grows our bond as moms as well. So thanks for listening. I'm so excited you guys listened again. Don't forget to follow me, like, and subscribe at I'm Just Being a Mom on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So I'll catch you next time for episode 4. Again, thanks for listening. Bye.